Peace to everybody. This is another video I'm bringing to you right now. This is NYC to impose curfew tonight after looting during protests. And as you know, right now we're under a mini martial law after the looting that took place all weekend long in different places. And as you can see here is all the rioters, protesters, everything you could think of. So now we're under a mini martial law because of what happened. And you know, this is full of crap. What adult in their right mind is going to listen to a curfew? And they're treating us like kids now? Really? This is insane and it's pathetic what they are doing to us now. New York City will have a curfew tonight from 11 p.m. till 5 a.m. after weekend protests of the death of George Floyd led to looting and violence in the most populous U.S. city. So tonight from 11 p.m. till 5 a.m. and it's gonna be a curfew. And this is because after a weekend protest of the death of George Floyd. Now, this curfew is unbelievable because now we are stuck with a curfew now because this is what the shadow governments want. They want to control us. They want to tell us what we can and cannot do. And you know what? And it's really ridiculous. And yet here you are listening to these shadow governments that are not your boss. All right. And, you know, it's insane, it's pathetic, and, you know, it's inhumane, and it's also evil. The police department will have 8,000 officers out tonight, doubling its presence in areas where there was violent property damage, according to a joint statement from New York Governor Andrew Cuomo and Mayor Bill de Blasio. Well, I should have known Cuomo was going to be in the middle of this mess. Now, I did do a video about Mayor Bill de Blasio's daughter being arrested last night. Okay, I have. But what I didn't know until I looked on Twitter, what was the real reason? It turned out, for the real reason, she burned a police car. Yeah, she torched a police car. And this is why the mainstream media is not going to tell you the truth about anything. If you want the truth, go to Twitter, because that's where all the truth is. Follow some QAnons if you have to. I know Q is not real. It's a fantasy, but they've been dropping jewels here and there for the real truth. And of course, with Bill de Blasio's daughter, of course, she's going to lie to the police because she did not want to tell the police that she was the mayor's daughter. Now, as for Andrew Cuomo, I really can't stand him any more than what he's doing. He's a moron and a dipstick. And, you know, he has gone way too far with his abusing his power to everybody. This is why I don't listen to these fake shadow governments, because they're not my boss. They can't be telling me what I can and cannot do. I undermine them every day, knowing that I am never going to listen to them because I don't give a crap about them. The curfew for the city of more than 8 million will be for one night, Cuomo said on WAMC radio. Tomorrow night we'll see. So now he's putting the entire state of New York on curfew for one night? Really? Didn't we just have this curfews all weekend and now he's doing it again tonight? Excuse him for living, but who died and left him boss in front of everybody? Ain't nobody going to give a care about this curfew. It's pathetic. Earlier today, Cuomo said he would be speaking to de Blasio about the possibility of a curfew. Violent activity by protesters obscures the righteousness of the message. Cuomo said Monday at a press briefing, it plays into the hands of people and forces who don't want to make changes. So now he's blaming the people who don't want to make the changes. So it's our fault now because of what the rioters did to this country. All the democratic states that have got destroyed. Or I should say the liberal states. He is on a crash course with himself because nobody's gonna care about him. Nobody's gonna even care what he says. And now he's blaming us patriots for all the crimes that the rioters have done. How is it our fault? We didn't destroy any business or anything. It's the rioters that caused all the mass destruction all over the place. They are the ones that have done it, and nobody seems to even stop these people from mass destructions because of what these evil people wanted. They wanted mass destruction, and here they're going to find some way to blame Trump, saying, oh, it's all your fault, Trump. You caused all this mass destruction. You're racist, blah, blah, blah. Excuse me? Trump has nothing to do with this. He didn't cause all this destruction. Where is he going to find the time to find all this mass destruction when he's too busy dealing with Nancy Pelosi and her criminal activities? Think about that. At his own briefing earlier, de Blasio said a curfew was an option, but was not planned for tonight. Oh, so now it's an option. All right, so now it's an option. So that means you are optional to do a curfew or not. I'd rather not do a curfew because it's stupid and we're not 2-year-old kids anymore. We can't let violence undermine the messages of this moment, de Blasio said in the joint statement. We agree on the need for swift action. Yeah, what swift action? So you could do what swift action? So they could do whatever criminal activities they want against humanity? Seriously? Is he kidding me? Somebody needs to slap both of them upside their heads to wake them up to reality, but you know that ain't going to happen because people are cowards of them. Over the weekend, the mayor had said police who drove into a crowd of demonstrators were wrong, but that the protesters had created conditions for the incident. On Monday, he said it is not acceptable ever to drive a police vehicle into a crowd, and the matter is under investigation. So yeah, somebody allegedly drove a police car into the crowd, and the matter is now under investigation. So who could have done that but the police? They're the ones that are always causing mass destructions as well. But then, of course, there are some good cops, but the good cops are protecting the bad cops, and because they don't really care about nobody. And this is why there's so much corruption in this world right now. Cities across the U.S. were the scene of weekend protests over years of incidents between white police officers and black residents. The case of Floyd, a Minneapolis black man who died after a white police officer knelt on his neck for several minutes, is just one of dozens that have happened in the U.S., Cuomo said. He cited the 2014 case in New York of Eric Garner, an unarmed black man who died after he was placed in a prohibited chokehold by a white police officer. The officer was fired in 2019, so now he's taking the quote that happened in 2014 with Eric Garner, who had died in an illegal chokehold that was prohibited against people. All right, and now, and of course, the officer was fired in 2019 after that incident. All right, so now you got cities across the U.S. where they've seen a weekend protest over years of incidents between white police officers and black residents. Okay. The black residents did not cause no destruction of their city. They didn't do that. It's the instigators that have caused all of the drama. They caused all of the mass destructions, the fires, the graffiti painting, everything they caused. And of course, I'm finding stuff on Twitter, the real truth, and of course, and then you wonder why bricks are piling up everywhere where there's no construction. Now think about it. There is no construction around. So why do you think the bricks were piled up in some places? Why do you think they are cropped up all over the place? That's because the instigators who caused all this mass destructions are the ones who broke the windows of every businesses that you could think of. And they and the black community are taking the fall for their crimes that they did, the instigators did. Now think about that. The people, the instigators, I should say, who are all dressed in black, their faces covered up but not entirely. They wear hoodies. Some of them do. They carry backpacks with stuff in it to cause all the destruction in America. Only in the liberal states they are causing mass destruction. They won't touch the red states. They're only touching the blue states. And then when they are done doing their dirt that they have done and blaming the black community, they go and run real quick. They get out of Dodge real quick. In other words, they carry sneakers with them, so the shoes that they wear on their feet, they throw them away. I do think they do have a change of clothes with them, so they could change the clothes after they're done doing what they're doing. They throw the clothes away that they wore. So then you got to think about who are the instigators are. It's not the black community at all. They never would ever destroy their own businesses and that. The instigators are the ones who are doing it. They did all this mass destructions for days at a time. And now we are stuck with a curfew because of these people, what they have done. Use this moment to galvanize public support, the governor said. Use that outrage to actually make a change. And yeah, well, outrage to make a change? How about if the demon rats get out of office, but because the government is so corrupt, along with the police force, the protests are happening as New York City prepares to reopen on June 8th after weeks of lockdown from the virus outbreak. Public officials have expressed concern that the protest could spark fresh COVID-19 outbreaks, but Cuomo said the state won't know for weeks if they do. Well, Cuomo is a moron. He doesn't know nothing about outbreaks or anything. And everybody pleases him as their God. He ain't God. He doesn't know what he's talking about or what he's doing. He's just a coward like anybody else. We have to be smart tonight in this city, the governor said. This is not helping C-19 virus. Excuse him, but now I really have to, now I'm really going to rip him apart. Mr. Cuomo, you moron sack of donkey poo. The C-19 virus is a hoax. It has been. George Soros is the one who put all this out in the first place. He created this hoax. He created the protesting hoax, or mass destruction, I should say, and he dished out millions of dollars, and now people are looking for him because they want his head on a platter to kill him, allegedly. But he does live somewhere here in New York State. I just don't know where. But whoever lives around him, they better knock him off quick, because George Soros is causing all this mass destruction to everybody around the world. Leave your comments below. I am out.